Hi everyone. In this video, I want to share 5 things that Ambedkar organizations in the US should be doing, but which they're not, and also a few things that they do which don't get us really the best bang for the buck. They look a little bit promising, but when you dig into it, there's nothing solid which supports our community with the acts that they're doing. So, um, after you hear this, you might be disappointed that, oh, they're not doing this, so this doesn't help the community because we here in the US are answerable to the community back in India. But I would say don't lose hope. This video is mostly to help us understand what our shortcomings are so we can fix them. It's in a way like calling ourselves out in terms of the emperor with no clothes. I mean, we here in the US say we have organizations, we sit in these centers and we do things, but we gotta have a unbiased look at ourselves and what we are doing. Okay, I don't want to waste more time about the context. So here we go. The first and the foremost thing that Ambedkar organizations should do is a simple news recast. A simple YouTube channel with about two presenters sitting over there. Presenters can be from India, or it could be a hybrid of maybe one from India, one here, a youth from the US. And all they do is they recast the news that is pertaining to our community across South Asia in a YouTube channel format. It almost will mirror, if we do it right, what Equality Labs is doing with their Instagram posts of state of affair or month in the past month in South Asia. It's just that I'm hoping that this is much more when YouTube presenting, so there is nothing. And again, nobody's going and digging and making all these stories. Nobody's actually doing the active investigative journalism. You give credit where credit is due, but our community researchers and journalists have already done the work. You package it in a way that it is appealing and is not even appealing, more digestible by an international audience, especially North American audience, and you present it. And also, you don't completely focus on the atrocities and the trials and tribulations of the community, but actually you take more time to present the triumphs that the community has achieved. So in that sense, you actually make this a once a month, and later on it could be once a week, opportunity to showcase how far the community has come, while also highlighting the most important things that all of us should be aware of. This should be a gathering point for all of the community. They should be eagerly awaiting this thing whenever it is, weekly, monthly, or whatnot. And Ambedkar organizations should be doing this. And when they say they don't have, like, I'm sure they don't have expertise or whatnot, that's where you kind of tap into some of our journalists here in the US. We know we have them, right? They go around on Rockstar panel tours and stuff. You call them in and you say, this is our idea. What can you do to help us do this? How can you help us curate this? You be the chief editor or chief of staff or editor in charge, whatever you call it. I don't know. I'm not in the publishing business. So you put them on top and then you say, and here, let's go search for 2 presenters and whatever may be the criteria. And then here is how you go about throughout the month, filtering out, actually first sourcing all the news, then filtering it out and parceling them into these, some trials and tribulations, a lot of triumphs, and then some events and probably historical things that you layer. Needn't be even more than 20 minutes. You just kind of throw like 10 things out there and then you call it a day, and then you see how it goes. After a year, you can redo this. But basically, somebody who has experience with journalism, preferably in the US, from the community, should be stepping up to the plate and doing this. And they're not because, well, they have reasons. So that's the first and foremost thing which I hope Ambedkar organizations will do. News recast, package it, present it. The second thing I would say is streamline education pipeline for those of our community coming abroad for studies. Right now, there is no one streamlined process to serve, support, and help community members. I'm not saying that just because you make this streamlined process, you will be able to give everybody the funding that they need. That may still not be the case, and people might get might not be able to get the funding because, trust me, US community, Ambedkar community is not there where we can dole out hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, maybe. So that $30,000 will probably help two students if they're going to a bigger city. So I'm not even talking about the funding process, but it's at least a streamlined process for community to enter or to kind of submit a request, share where they are coming, and beyond funding requests, what other requests might they have? Just a familiar face there, just an Ambedkarite receiving them at the airport or whatnot. Also, which falls into the resources category, right? So funding is one, which we maybe or not be able to support with, but definitely we have manpower. So what kind of resources can we offer from this uniform standardized process? Resources as in community that lives by the students' college, who can help them with any kind of quick runs to social security office, motor vehicle office, help them with like understanding the campus, the layout, take them on like if they don't have a car, take them to the local grocery store once, or pick them up at the airport, drop them off at the airport. And also even students can bond then within themselves and try to figure out and form a community. So while this might seem for the Ambedkar organizations, while it may seem like very student focused that we are helping them, it will in turn help us because trust me, even if 10 students at the least are coming to the US right now and they are going to different colleges, there is no one way to know who they are, connect them with the Ambedkar organizations and also different geographical locations, and build that strong Ambedkar youth presence. And we lament about how all of the WhatsApp Ambedkar groups and the organizations are getting older, like the median is shifting older. But if you don't bring these young community members in and support them when they need help, why would they come back and join our organization? So that's a big miss on our part, not having a streamlined standard process for Ambedkar, for SC, ST, OBC community students coming to the US to look up to, join, register, and then seek support from us. So that's it. First thing was the news recast. The second thing is the standard process to bring Ambedkar students into the US. Then you can actually expand it to Canada and then also UK, Australia, New Zealand. But I'm thinking bulk of the students come to US and Canada. So as long as you cover North America in that sense, I mean, Mexico is there, but most of our students come to US and Canada. So if you cover them, I think we'll have a strong, fresh community members coming in with their ideas and energy and enthusiasm. So we got to do that. We got to take care of them. The third thing that Ambedkar organizations can do but are not doing is solve a real, very real pain point for the Bahujan community back in India. You call yourself Bay Area Ambedkarites, that you're in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, doing this and that, work at Facebook, Google, Google Alphabet, whatever, state of the art, cutting technology, what do you call it, TechFin and all that stuff. But you're not solving a very, very important problem for the Bahujan community, which is a lack of a Bahujan community only matrimonial app. I know, matrimonial app, very het normative, cis male, cis female kind of an app, but there are a community who identify as that, and we need to solve their problem. So they are struggling, and every other day in one of the WhatsApp messages we see looking for somebody from the community, and they can't find them, and then everybody points to, well, there was supposed to be an app like this coming up. And then some community members also don't understand why it has to be exclusively for Bahujan community, but that's a battle I need to fight with those. I'm going to call them, I was going to call them idiots, but not, maybe I shouldn't. But that's a problem that they have, and we need to figure that out. But also one of the things I will quickly touch upon is that those of you who are opposed to marriage as an institution and this patriarchal thing that it walks into, if you want to dismantle this patriarchy and you want a supporting community, get Bahujan matrimony, get these people to marry, and the next generation of community kids who don't want to deal with cis, het, normative, patriarchal world would have a well-receiving Ambedkarized community who have married among themselves. So while you want that to be your end result, I think building a Bahujan matrimony app, though it will be cis, het, normative, will actually build that community in which the future generations which want to work with whatever identity, gender, preferences or whatnot to thrive, you have to build this. Otherwise, we are just slaves of the matrimony world, matrimonial apps that are there, which are very, very patriarchal, as we know. And also, the matrimony app can be very, very Ambedkarized, wherein you're not going off of Rashi, Kundali, all of that stuff, but you can go off of matches. When there are two people matching up, you can say family one. What level of your Ambedkar, how Ambedkarized have you become in your family? The same thing, match two. How Ambedkarized have you become? Then if you two profiles are on the same level, you can match up. If you're not, if you're at a lower level, then you can match up. And I think this will also open up alliances and matches across geographical locations, across language barriers, across religion barriers, across food habits, and all of that, because the underlying commonality here would be how Ambedkarite are you? How Ambedkarized is your family? Are we giving our daughter or our son into an Ambedkarized family? At which point, what language you talk may not be a big issue. Also, because these kids probably will live in a city which is far away from the parents and all that stuff. That's what I'm hoping. So that's the third thing, building a matrimonial app. Ambedkar organizations should take that up. One or two individuals are trying to do that, but an organization putting in the effort behind this would be much better. I'm going to touch upon two quick things in the list of 5. The fifth one would be doing some sort of publishing and hosting courses for the community, especially if Ambedkar organizations have inroads into colleges, universities, talk to professors or whatnot, and also our own professors who are in different universities here. You don't have to teach courses and stuff. Like if let's say you're a sociologist, then walk over to your English department, knock on there and say, hey, you know who I am, you know how I've come up with this SC identity, untouchability identity, I've written these books and stuff. You are an English course teaching ones. Can you take an exclusive course for our community? Hopefully it doesn't cost, because the college is hopefully getting some check boxes of their own for doing this, and you do it. Same thing if you're a journalist and if you have gone through a journalist course here, why don't you go back on to your dean, whoever, knock and say, hey, do a course for my community, exclusively for my community. I will handle all the logistics of how to bring those community members, but you take a course on how to be effective at journalism. And trust me, when you do this and you get these 2 people or 4 people, whatever, 10 people, they can then feed into our news recast project. So that's the 4th point. Do some more, we have done some IT kind of courses like this. You bring somebody within the community or outside and they teach some latest advancement in technology, but nobody doing it in these storytelling courses like writing, speaking, journalism, movies maybe. Recently, like I said, Ava DuVernay came to the community and asked us to help her out when she wanted somebody to cast someone as Ambedkar. As much as we think that she gave us an opportunity to cast Ambedkar, she also benefited from us offering our story and helping Origin become a success that it was, and also with Gaurav playing the part of Dr. Ambedkar. So we can definitely knock on her door and say, hey, can you teach our community a writing course or a script writing course or a directing course? Maybe it's not her, maybe she'll find somebody for us, but that's her problem. Like, who she finds to teach is her problem. Our community organizations approach should be go knock on the door and then offer an opportunity for her to serve our community, whose story she has benefited from by making Origin. Okay, so these are the 5 things. So just to recap, news recast with potential to reach American audience, streamline intake of students coming abroad, even if it's just to gather some information, even if you can't give funds, matrimonial app exclusively for the Bahujan community, some kind of publishing with like on demand. You don't even have to publish and keep the books in there, like Amazon, tie up with Amazon publishing, but most importantly, courses that support storytelling, journalism, writing, movie making, etc. And then finally, actually there was a 5th one that I wanted to share. support our artists. Community members here have used even art from artists to do like different protests and things while holding banners and stuff. But I don't see anything where they are actively supporting the community. For example, yesterday or this week was Buddha Purnima. If you scroll through Instagram, there are hundreds of our, maybe tens of, dozens of our artists who have made Buddhist images. Why don't you go to them and say, hey, we here in so-and-so organization have 300 members. As a goodwill gesture to all of our paid members, we would like to buy this digital print them as a card, send it saying Buddha Purnima and send it. So the artist gets some money, the members get a little, some nice little thing. I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be a postcard. It can be even bigger if they want to print it out. And similarly, almost all organizations do community drive or membership drive. When you do membership drive, and let's say, just to make things a round figure, you want $100, you say, hey, give us $100, you'll become a member. But give us $150, you become a member and you get this amazing art from an artist. And let's say that art piece whole costs you $20, including paying the artist. Guess what? Instead of getting $100, you got $130, and the 20 was the cost for you. So you got $30 extra. So none of the organizations are doing anything like this and supporting the community. So these would be the 5 things that I think community organizations here in the US should be doing. Come up with a YouTube news recast channel, streamline the incoming students pipeline, build a Bahujan exclusive matrimonial app, help courses, storytelling courses, and help with publishing, and then finally supporting community artists who are able to tell those stories. So we got to support them. So those are the things that we should be doing. So now for the things that they do which don't have a good return, like they don't get the good bang for the buck. Giving press releases, it's mostly, I see it as a English language. We can write the best legal document or something. Like for example, NRC, CAA happens or something, or let's say I'm not diminishing the act itself, but some atrocity happens in India, then you publish a letter and give a press release. Or let's say even now the elections happen and somewhere it is completely disclosed or out there that some polling booth was vandalized. So you write a dissent letter and send it to Indian embassy in the US, and that's a press release. I don't think it does anything. I think they take it and throw it away. If I was in the embassy, I'm a clerk who first looks at it, I'm like, I don't even think it reaches the Consul General, whatever. The other thing they do is obviously host Ambedkar Jayantis and stuff, which I think has enough value there. You need to socialize. Oh, the thing that actually has absolutely no value and is very clerical is getting these Ambedkar days. Like you go and like Michigan celebrated, or Michigan governor may declared April 14th as Ambedkar Day, or that week as Phule Ambedkar week or whatnot. I'll tell you, it does nothing. And I know when you get it, we all get excited, and not knowing the impact it has, which is zero. All of you on Instagram also post them. In India, post them back, and here also we post them. But basically, it's a very clerical process where you find the form, you pay $50. So it's a money-making thing for the governor's office or whatever is the office. You pay $50, $100, $150, whatever it goes through. And as long as it doesn't actually scream something wrong in it, it's not homophobic, xenophobic, or whatnot, and it says, well, this is a group, they seem to like Ambedkar. We don't care who he is, but they want to call it an Ambedkar Day. Well, did they pay the fee? Yes. Okay, and nobody is objecting? Okay, let's do it. It doesn't really, it also, some people might say that it's like sowing a seed which might germinate later. But yeah, it's like sowing a seed in the Sahara Desert. It will germinate at some point when the next ice age comes around. So you want to wait around, or I don't know who will be around. So not that it won't have an effect, like every action will have a reaction. But not in our lifetime or anything that will serve basic human lifespan. You need an ice age for that to actually impact. You're better off actually doing things like this YouTube news recast rather than do that once a year and just get a piece of proclamation. Yeah, that's what it is, proclamation. What else? Yeah. And let's stop there. I don't need to bash the community as to what it's doing and what's not working. But I mostly wanted to share what important things the community is not doing, and hopefully, when they see this, they might reconsider. Oh, and I try to do some of these things in an individual capacity. And I know you might all say, what's stopping me from joining some of these organizations and trying to do this? Some organizations, because I ask questions like this boldly, completely just blacklisted me. They kicked me out of the WhatsApp groups. They don't even want me back. Even if I want to go apologize, they just don't even respond because they know that I'll question their methods and the outcome that they have and what they focus on. I try to steer them a little better based on experience. I'm not always right, but with what I know. Then there was another group which I did join as a board member, but then instead of actually taking my ideas and helping me run with them, they said, they gave me a clerical job. They make me the secretary and said, you talk and write well, so you become the clerk of the board, but we actually don't care about your project. So I actually resigned from that Ambedkar organization. So anywho, so and other things like matrimonial streamline education platform. I also talked to a few of you guys to see if there was enough interest to do like the news recast, and for all of these I was going to go get funds. But I think even for some of you all who agree with what I say, some of you see some of these as a little too far-fetched, and you are not letting your imagination and courage just blossom inside. And also, who the heck cares if we fail? Nobody's done a YouTube news recast. We try it. We try 2 weeks. Nothing works out. Who cares? That's the approach. If any of you have that approach and wanna work with me on any of these, please let me know. But I just wanted to share based on the encouragement that I got from the videos that you have watched before. I thought I would share this. So anyways, let me know what you think, and you can message me, DM me anytime. Okay, let me rephrase this. Community members, you can DM me anytime, ask me questions, poke holes in my thing. Savarna community, I don't really care to engage with you guys, so don't bother. Throw a like in there if you want, but I don't even want to hear your right said in my DMs. So only community members. Okay, that's the boundary I have. Thanks. Appreciate it. Bye. Jai Bhim. Namo Buddhaya.